When gunshots rang out in this quiet Southwest neighborhood, just about everyone was stunned. When I came here to the scene the next day, neighbors told me that a drive-by shooting in this area was so bizarre that most assumed that the killer and the victim both weren't from around here. Now, the shooter is still unknown, but the victim, James Kulstad, was attacked while leaving this cul-de-sac, coming from the home of a Bakersfield chiropractor where witnesses say James wasn't welcome. Now, almost a year later, the investigation is uncovering more than just a cold-blooded killer. It's revealing more about James himself and the dangerous circle of friends his family didn't know about.
That man could sell a dollar bill on the side of the road for $1 million if you could just get 5 minutes with you.
After losing her mother in a car accident as a baby, Cameron grew up especially close to her father. She and her dad looking up at the stars for hours, her father telling her endless stories about her mother as an angel in heaven.
That kept me going my whole life, I think. Just like, I knew the love he had for her. That is the one thing I think I get peace from, is knowing that they're together.
One of the more memorable things about James Kulstad for loved ones is his entrepreneurial spirit. From owning his own skateboard shop and getting a patent for his invention, torch trucks, to less mess bibs, Kulstad found success early on in life. But in the last few years before Kulstad's death, things were tough.
That was one of our main talks. You do not get yourself involved in drugs. It is not okay. He was clear-headed, and so when he started getting involved in this, it was crazy. It was like we went from having this great relationship to I just fought so hard for him. I felt like I never fought so hard for someone to love me, I felt like. And it turned so dark.
Family believes James's battle with drugs began after he was hit by a car and prescribed pain medication, which eventually turned into fentanyl patches to heroin.
I felt like I lost him before I even lost him. But I worked so hard. I was working so hard on everything I could do to make him get better. And I wanted that so bad for him, and I always had hope. I always had a hope for him. I was hanging on to hope, and whoever killed him took that away from me. Like, I don't have that anymore. I don't have hope. He's not gonna come home.
Cameron remembers the moment she learned her father was dead.
And I instantly just hit the ground because I couldn't keep my body up, because I just had nothing in me.
But she wasn't expecting to learn that he'd been murdered.
And I don't know how to deal with it. I don't know how to wake up in the morning and not think, like, was he scared? Like, was he scared when that person was shooting at the car? Like, what was going through his mind? Did he think, like, oh, Cameron's gonna have to lose me? Or did he think that he was gonna make it? It's so scary for me to think about, because I didn't want him to hurt anymore.
As Cameron tries to navigate through her grief, she says she no longer feels anger or fear towards the person or persons who took her father away from her.
It takes a certain person to look somebody in the eyes and kill them. It takes a really terrible person who I feel bad for. I feel so bad for the person who killed my dad. I don't hate him. I don't care about him. I hurt, though, for him. I hurt so bad that somebody could have had it so bad in their life to where they can take another human being's life. I want that person to look at me and see me and, like, really see me because that person took away everything from me.
Cameron says adding to her grief is the talk she's heard since her father's murder.
I've heard so many different stories about who he was these last 3 years. And it's like, some of the stories I've heard are that he was a really bad person these last 3 years. That he's done really bad things. And that's like a lot of the talk that I'm hearing.
Cameron feels much of this talk is aimed at distracting her and loved ones from finding out the truth.
I mean, if we're being completely honest, who really cares about a bad guy who was on drugs, who got killed in Southwest Bakersfield? Nobody. I mean, I feel like that's kind of how people think. Oh, another crackhead just got killed in Bakersfield today. I know that sounds terrible, but honestly, I've heard that before by people not knowing who I am. And no, that's not right. How can we as a community sit here and think that that's okay?
She doesn't believe the rumors she's heard about her father. While many of the people James was with the night he was gunned down do have serious rap sheets, Cameron and James's mother both didn't know any of them. They didn't seem to be an important part of Kulstad's life.
Yeah, they're scary people, but we're so much bigger than them. As a community, we can stand together, we can figure it out. And we can figure out other missing people that don't have a voice and other murdered victims. I feel like we can do it, but it's just going to take people being courageous and strong. I miss seeing him. I miss holding him. I miss him picking me up from school when I was in high school and making me kiss him on the cheek, and I was so embarrassed. I miss that so much. But I still have him here. And I really want the person who killed him to just look me in my eyes and see everything that they've done to me. Because they didn't just kill him. It created so much pain.
If you have any information on the murder of James Kulstad, you're urged to call Bakersfield Police at 327-7111. And remember, you can always remain anonymous by calling Secret Witness at 322-4040.